Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Back in view today, leader Dorset Spur talking about the loss against the Galatasary. I kind of got that wrong. I kind of wasn't expecting the game that we got. I was expecting a lot tighter game, but clearly that wasn't going to be. And I was shocked at the effort and the work rate from a really upbeat kind of Galatasaray team. I guess starting off with the starting 11, I expected there to be changes, if I'm being honest, because obviously two difficult games we've just had, some injuries, got another game coming up the weekend, and so there needed to be a little bit in there. So I kind of was expecting a few of the changes. For a start, I was expecting to come in. I felt that maybe that's a good decision. Bigger keeper, stronger keeper, maybe. Galatasaray are good at set pieces, so maybe that helps from that point of view because Vicario is having a bit of a difficult time with that sort of stuff. Good to see Pedro Porro coming back in. I thought, yeah, experience, someone on the right hand side. That means that Udogie can get a break because he hasn't really got any cover. And so Gray was going in there. I kind of expected that. I did think that might be the case. Dragushin and Davis was an obvious choice with both of our centre-backs being out injured. And so you kind of knew that was going to happen. In terms of the midfield, Bergvall, Bissouma, Maddison, the one that surprised me really is Bergvall. I was quite surprised to have him in there. He has been playing in the Europa games, so maybe he does need the minutes and so on. But I felt that we probably needed a bit more steel in there than that. So Bissouma coming in, I get that because obviously we're alternating between Bissouma, Bentancur, and so on. And Maddison, I was kind of expecting to come back, given that he was out at the weekend. He wasn't played at the weekend and came in with that fantastic free kick. So I kind of felt that he was being utilised as best he could to try to utilise the squad. And then, of course, we got Johnson, Son, and Lancashire. Great to see Sonny back. I was expecting him to come back because we were concerned over that left-hand side with Werner being out and Mikey Moore being sick and so on. It kind of made sense that Son would come back. But Lancashire was a bit of a surprise to a certain extent. 19-year-old kid coming in. I know he's played before. I would have thought that Richie would have taken that spot had he not been injured. But of course, he's injured. So that meant that realistically, the only other option was Solanke. And Solanke's playing a lot of games. So he's caught in a rock and a hard place. Now, you have to remember, this isn't a must-win game. This is a league scenario where even now in fifth, we've got easier games technically on paper to play. We've still got Rangers to play. We've still got Roma to play. We've still got Elfsberg to play. We've still got Hoffenheim to play. So there are games in there that should be an easier one than this. This is probably the harder game in the whole league phase. So I was kind of expecting this to be a difficult one. I was hoping that we would still win it. I felt that we probably had enough to win it, given the depth of our squad. If we'd have played our full strength team, but of course we've still got Ipswich at the weekend, so you can't play the same 11 all the time. Me personally, I still feel that we miss a trick in the fact that we don't go strong at the beginning and then end up trying to chase the game, which is exactly what happened. So of course, let's talk about some of those things. Galatasaray, credit to them, really, really good side with some really decent players in that squad. Their first goal was, well, to be fair, I think all the goals were fantastic, but the first goal, pick that one out of the net, Fraser, there's no chance of you getting that. I think he got his fingertips to it, but there is just no way you're going to stop that. The player's going away from goal, he hooks it back, but with such power and precision that no chance at that, and straight away you're 1-0 down. Credit where it's due. Some great work down the left hand side. Sonny running at him, gets pulled down. Luckily breaks to Gray, who clips a brilliant ball across to Johnson, who unselfishly cushions it across to Lancashire to to tuck away a very, very easy goal. But under pressure, big game, big atmosphere, kind of took it really, really well. So great to see. But of course, this is Tottenham Hotspur doing it the hard way since 1882. We absolutely went to pieces in that game. Our passing was woeful. Our strength in terms of the tackle was poor. Our timing was ridiculously bad. And we were the architects of our own downfall for the whole of the game. For the whole of the game, we were just really, really poor. Dragoshin had a poor game. Maddison had a poor game. Bergvall had a poor game. There was poor performances all over the pitch. Davies didn't cover himself in glory either. The pass across to Dragoshin, who should have been alive to it. You're playing out of the back. Why are you not focusing on that? Gives it away. Osimhen puts it away. And to be fair, he could have had 5 or 6 on the night. Brilliant player who really showed his class. Third one, he scored. He's in the air, cushions that ball. It's just brilliant play that they were at us all the way along that left hand side. Gray got a very, very torrid time in there. Really, really difficult watch, painful in some parts. But at the same time as that, half time comes, some substitutions come in. For me, I felt the game was calling out for Sarr really early. I felt that we needed someone with a bit of strength and a bit of tenacity in there, could kind of break up and steal the ball back and that kind of stuff. But eventually we got our main players onto the pitch with Kulu and Sarr and Bentancur and so on. Maddison and Bergvall both getting hooked, which I thought was a good decision. I thought both of them were playing poorly and wasn't really contributing to it. And I really disappointing with the overall performance. It was a very, very hard watch overall. But of course, you've got to give credit to Pedro Porro, who played the ball in for Solanke, who again got another really, really good goal scored there. A nice one through his legs, backheeled into the goal. And to be fair, towards the end of that game, we were chasing it, and you could feel the tension around the Galatasaray players. They'd put an awful lot in there, and when players were tiring, what they were bringing on wasn't as strong. So again, I think if we'd have matched them up in the first half, maybe we wouldn't have been so far down in the game. Of course, Lancashire scored a goal, but he also got himself sent off. Absolute frustration there. Little boy losing his head a little bit there. Frustrated that he didn't get a free kick, which he probably should have done. Didn't feel the referee had the greatest of games, if I'm honest. A load of kind of tackles that went against us. I thought, well, if you need to even that up, then and I just felt that it was a little bit one-sided. But we're always going to call that outright. Some things that you see as a free kick, you don't get. And I'm not against them getting the free kicks they got. I just feel that maybe some of the ones against us were just the same, and they weren't given. But listen, that takes away nothing from the fact that we were very, very poor on the day. And I think Ange must be absolutely fuming watching that back at the kind of lack of intensity from us. So essentially, there was a lack of intensity. There was a lack of concentration. We were late to every ball. We were sloppy. We were passing the ball to them, giving the ball away far too much. And I get the idea of playing out from the back, but when you're being so sloppy and mistiming everything, you're just making it worse for yourself. You needed to buy yourself some time. You needed to get the ball up. You needed someone to take hold of the ball and keep it and start passing it around and building up that confidence again. And we just wasn't doing that. We were just throwing the ball around everywhere and giving it away. And and Galatasaray's press was really good. They were on us straight away. They wasn't giving us any time. If you've not got any time, you've got to move the ball quickly. And we wasn't. We were dwelling on it and messing about. And we were punished. Luckily for us, their shooting was off target a lot of the time. Forster made a couple of decent saves in there, one straight at him that he pulled out, and a couple of others, one with his foot that I can remember. Did have a bit of a terrible moment where he came out flapping and was saved off the line again. Second game in the trot, we've had one saved off the line. And so it was really, really important not to get any more than 3 goals against us. Second half performance was slightly better, and when we went down to 10 men, it did galvanise us a little bit, and we seemed a little bit more organised with the stronger, more experienced players on the pitch. But it just wasn't enough. That could have been an absolute row. We could have lost that 5 or 6, to be honest with you, and it would have looked really, really poor. A 3-2 defeat is not the worst result that you're going to get out of Istanbul, but not what we wanted. As fans, it's not what we want. We want to win every game. I totally understand that, but this is a marathon, not a sprint. Provided we're keeping within the right places and we are within the right distance of getting into the next phase, that's the main bit, right? So down to 5th, we have to keep on believing that we can beat some of these other teams that we've still got to play, and hopefully, January, maybe we will strengthen again. I know January is not historically great for buying players, but there is a need in there. We're carrying a lot of injuries at the moment. The back line is out, although Romero may well come back for the weekend. We'll see how that pans out. But obviously, Dragushin had a terrible game. After being quite solid over the last couple of games, maybe a bit of fatigue after not playing so often. All of a sudden, he's got games coming up thick and fast. Concentration was poor, and maybe playing with Romero as opposed to Davies maybe a better answer. But yeah, weekend, Ipswich to come. So got to recover quickly from this defeat and get our heads back in the game. Hopefully we'll have a few more players available. Udogi should come back, obviously, and that kind of stuff. So hopefully, this is just our Europa blip. 3 games already won in the competition, so we're still on 9 points, which is a good start. And we needed those wins ahead of this one, which everyone kind of said was going to be the most difficult one. So listen, I know a lot of people losing their heads, a lot of people getting the ump over it. I totally get it, because we want to win every game. And I'm sure the players want to win every game, and Ange wants to win every game, but you're not going to be able to. And so we just have to suck it up and see where it goes from here. Let's see if we can pick up another win at the weekend against Ipswich, and that kind of keeps our form good going into the international break. Little bit of a rest for some players maybe, and then we come back after that to see where we go from there. But listen, you've got to take it as it is. Really, really difficult. Really, really poor performance. Really disappointing. Painful, as I said, painful to watch. Certainly that first half, but like I say, a lot of that is down to us rather than down to them. And I think maybe if we'd have had a stronger team out there, maybe if we'd have started strongly, we could have had that result differently. But the game's over. It's done. We've lost. The points are gone. It's time to think about the next game, move on to the next one, and see where we go from there. Anyway, I'll be at the Ipswich game at the weekend. So if you see me and you want to say hello, come say hello. Thanks for watching. Good to have you all on board, and I'll see you on the next one. Up the Spurs.